Take 3. My daughter just got home and she's been in and out without warning. Okay, this is Berry Babe checking in, and I'm long overdue, and I apologize for that. Weight today, 144.4. I'm okay with that. I was trying so hard to get down to 142 for my appointment with the doctor, the plastic surgeon, because I was 142 last time, and he told me I couldn't lose any weight, and I was really afraid if I gained any weight, he would tell me I couldn't lose it. And I really want to be 140. That's really what I want to be. So several days, when I quit vlogging, and it wasn't because I was gaining. You know, it gets so dark so early here, and I get up and get out, and by the time I get home, it's dark and cold, and so that's why I'm inside again. I really love vlogging on the front porch, but it was a dark, cold day today, and so, you know, here I am. And anyway, I was 2 pounds up. I tried everything I could think of. And yesterday in the morning, I decided I was constipated. So Friday, I took 2 bottles of magnesium citrate. And it really had it didn't go through. It didn't work. It didn't work. I had a little bit, but I must not have been plugged. Otherwise, I'm going to explode one of these days. But what it did do was grab a lot of fluid and make me feel uncomfortable. And so the Friday morning, I was 143.6, I think. And if I had just left it alone, I might have dropped it, because I was just doing broth and a little bit of cottage cheese. I mean, way below what usually makes me lose. So anyway, that is over. I was 2 points up, and I'm sitting there, and he comes in, he says, oh, he says, you're up 2 pounds, but good, you're stabilizing. Ah! That was all he said. He was like, Donna O says, if he only knew, like, yeah, we're not going to tell him. So the office manager, who I ended up talking with at some length, because she's the one that figures out how much your procedure is going to cost, I think is up more than 2 pounds from Christmas, so she was quite impressed. Okay, you be impressed. Anyway, I went through tortures of the damned before this. So, in talking about this appointment, my next surgery is a back lift. And last summer I had my breast done, and those of you that follow me know that I now have a tit and a titlet. So the last time I was in there, he just seemed really distraught and had had really intimated that he wasn't going to charge me his fee for this next procedure and for the subsequent implant, because I wouldn't be getting implants if he hadn't taken healthy tissue out of this breast, and it's like an A. I got a B and an A. So I'm not sure I would have had my back done if both breasts had been the same, but he said, well, you were going to get your back done, so we can kind of even it up then. So I'm going to go ahead and get my back done, because it will make me feel better. And so I've lost 25 pounds since he did my boobs, which means they're not as full and perky as they might have been otherwise. And so he's not real pleased with that. And I guess I can't blame him, because, you know, it's like an artist. I'm not displeased with the hang or whatever. They don't super hang, but they used to sit way up here and hard as a rock, and, you know, they fall. But I really don't think I'd be looking at implants if I was, if they were both the same size, both a B, because I pretty much fill a B on one side, and I have to wear fillers to get a B on the other side, and you want to be even. So I said, you know, I really hadn't planned on the augmentation surgery. I've got money for the back surgery. So if you can make both of them cost what I would have paid for the back surgery, then I'll be satisfied, or close. So she's going to see what she can do. Okay. But talking about solutions, and she said to him, she was in there, and he was drawing on me and telling her what he wanted to do and how he was going to pull here and pull there and stretch it. I think I still got one right here. He cleaned up under here, but then he put one here because I said, well, this nipple hangs different, you know, and it's about this much. You know, you don't want to move nipples for that much. So he wouldn't even talk in inches, it's centimeters he was measuring. It looked like half an inch to me. But, you guys, I'm so squirrely. Oh my God, I have trouble getting from A to B and remembering what I was supposed to do. So I know in these vlogs I just have been jumping around, and I apologize. I get thoughts and I don't finish sentences, and it's like, oh well. Anyway, back to, so they said, well, one of the things you could do is a fat transfer. That's where they suck fat out of one part of your body, and then they would put it in the breast, because where he took the tissue off the top and the side, there's like indentation. And I said, yeah, but that doesn't last. He said, well, X% lasts, and so that's why I always overfill. And they look at each other and they say, you don't have any fat to suck. Like, huh? What about here? What about here? No, don't have any fat to suck. Intellectually, I'm 5'8". I'm 63 years old. I'm working for 140 pounds. I'm under 145 right now. Excellent weight. I'm thin. I am thin. There's no way that I'm not thin. Intellectually, I know I weigh 140 pounds. Sometimes I have trouble getting store doors open. I used to be able to push with 300 plus pounds. I'm pushing with 140 pounds now, and old arms. So, you know, I can look at myself, and there's still that fat brain in there somewhere. So then, one of the things he had talked about in past times was the problem with having to turn you on the operating table, because he's going to work on the front and he's going to work on the back. And I said to her after he left, I said, well, what about, because we're talking about going, he's now a partner in a clinic. He used to have his own outpatient clinic, and that's where I had one of my thighs procedures done. And then something happened, big scandal, something, and he doesn't have that anymore. But he's been trying to find another facility, so he has more control. When he's in the hospital, you book 4 hours, and if you go 4 hours, over 4 hours, the hospital's on your butt. And it's really hard to do surgery when every 10 minutes they're calling you saying, when are you going to be finished? So we're looking at going to the surgical center in July, early August. So after the wedding. And yeah, I'll be thin for that wedding. So that would be a good time before I get a chance to put me back on. So I said, what about rolling me over? Is that going to be a problem? Because one of the things she'd said was that this one facility, even though it was private, had such a high staff ratio that they preferred to work with insurance because they couldn't get self-pay. They couldn't get enough money. So if I go to his surgery center, then there aren't going to be that many people there. And I said, well, what about turning me over, you know, if there aren't that many people? And she just gave me that, you dumb shit look. And she said, Cheryl, like, and then she just looked at me like, you're 140 pounds, you know, like, oh, okay. Because I still, you know, one of the reasons I wanted to lose weight, and I know this sounds so stupid, but my mother was in and out. My mother had a back surgery. She died at 77. When she was 76, she had a back surgery. She never was able to go home. And she spent the last 15 months of her life in and out of hospital, in and out of nursing homes, in and out of my sister's home. And finally, when hospice kicked in, we took her home. Too late for her to enjoy it. But there were people handling her body. There were people stripping her down and washing her. And, you know, my nickname will be Jigsaw because I have scar paths. I heal well, but I have scar paths, and I'm going to have one across my back. I got one down my sides, down my arms, down my thighs, maybe someday down my chin. But the thought of, you know, when my breast hung to my waist, I was humiliated every time I had to take my blouse off, my bra off. I was humiliated even, you know, in the doctor's office, they give you those little paper things, and by the time, I mean, my tits would hang out the bottom. Jesus Christ. So at least now, I mean, how far I've come. I'm standing there naked from the waist up, and he's handling and fondling and drawing and turning, and she's looking, and it's like I'm oblivious. You know, I'm just oblivious, because it's like, do what you need to do. There's no, these really aren't my tits. You know? So I know some people can be exhibitionistic, you know? So I go back in April. Donna said, are we going to have some trauma in April? And I said, well, it depends how well I do on my eating on vacation, because we come back early March. I'm going to try real hard to do keto. My husband's determined he's going to stay on his eating plan, so that will make it somewhat easier, because he's always been a real codependent. When I'd say, you feel like going for something, he'd say, yeah, okay, and off we go. So he is 6 weeks on his program. He is doing HCG. He started at 348.9 on November 26th, right after, I guess that's right after Thanksgiving. To yesterday, he was down 36.4 pounds. So there was one week his losses go like 19.4 in the first week and a half, the first 2 weeks, sort of. And then he lost 4.2, 2.2, 5.9, 1.1, 5.6. Now that's not a lot for a man on HCG, but he's doing kind of a bastardized version of H2O. He's doing very low carb, but I haven't put any limits on protein or fat. And so the week he got 1.1, I said to him, you know, if you, the goal is eat the least you can. And he just loves the way the HCG has taken away his appetite. My daughter, who's thinking about doing it, she said, what's going on with Dad? He's up and around, he's doing things. And he has gone from eating 3 eggs to 2 eggs, because 3 eggs was too much. And she said, and now he's not, it's noon and he hasn't eaten anything. He's talking about he needs to get out there and get his breakfast. So he's got the hum going. And this week he was over 5 pounds, 5.6. So he's starting to get it. And I think that as time goes on, he'll get it even more. He started at 348.9. Today he's 312.5, and I think he's 6'2", so I think 200. You know, I'd like to see him hit Wonderland. That would be fun. But I think at his height and his age, 200 would be fine. So he's got 112 pounds to go. So at 5 pounds a week, that's half a year. But the way he's approached it, he's going to be able to do it. He went to a birthday party last night, and pushed the limits on eating things, but didn't eat carbs much. He got into some dip that he doesn't know for sure if it was okay, that sort of thing. But, you know, you got to live, and he as long as he keeps at it, he'll be fine. And I think with the sublingual, I don't think I have to worry about him getting what do they call it? I don't know. Used to it, so it doesn't work anymore. So I'm still doing it, but I've had trouble with my times. It's like last night, it was like midnight. Oh, I didn't do my HCG, so I did it at midnight last night and then noon today. So I don't know when I'll vlog again. I'm going to run out of time, so I'm just I'm looking to get to 140 and then P3, but I don't think I'm going to P3 it till after DC, which I get back the 23rd, and we leave the 25th for Florida. So maybe I'll check in again soon. Bye.